Looks like our match is starting up now.
Where are we
Bum, bum,
checking out?
bum, bum.
And, oh, we've got a different champion choice here. We do have a Cressida champion, but we also have a Might Singer Alindra. Now, that is a card that we have seen today, but have not seen a whole lot of in the main deck. That Lullaby is not typically one that we've seen a whole lot of in the main deck.
In before Caerbannog reports his opponent for using a set 1 card.
I think he'll know. With Rusty on the play here, just the single shard and pass.
So, Gigantosaurs. Took me a while. I was like, what's this that one? Oh.
Yeah, the Giganosaur, right?
How do we know it's not his second copy? He had one in hand and created one with his charge power.
Oh, man. Now Rusty with the acceleration, having the layer assist here is pretty awesome. Caerbannog still with no play on the second turn. Does have both thresholds that he needs.
Now, Might Singer Alindra trades in the chance for an explosive turn 5 drop on turn 3 or turn 4 thing. Still has a fair number of ramp. There's definitely enough ramp to do this. Instead, can just simply play a 7/7 Gigantosaur, just at some point. And in draft, I definitely see people going Cressida versus Alindra. I can get to 7 anyway. I can play this. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and we see the Merry Minstrels here. Now, if Rusty's paying attention, he'll know that there is no other elf in Caerbanog's hand because he did not generate the shard. But it is still a 2-3. We can block reasonably well on this board.
We can raid Colin's house.
We can raid Colin's house. There we go. Next hex raid will be... Holy moly. All right, now this is interesting. I thought maybe we were going to see elves attack and double pump, but instead we see a Cerberus drop down.
How much Wrathwood? All of the Wrathwood.
All of the Wrathwood. Oh, buddy.
I think he's doing some damage calculation.
Yep, triple damage.
It can safely kill the Cerberus and the Ashwood Blade Master, only
Yeah.
taking 5 damage back. That's really unfortunate. Crocs are getting value even there.
Yeah, pretty much the best timing there for that Crocosar. If Rusty had gone with the double pump play, he might have lost off one of the elves on the attack. Probably would have traded in an elf with the Minstrel. And then the Crocosar would have ended up trading for the other two. Oh, but now we see why. There's a second Cerberus.
Now it's back. Back again. Cerberus is back. Tell a friend.
Caerbannog drawing another card that we've seen a few times today, the Sylvan Performer. Seems good if you're just drawing more 5-drops into more resources. Now this Cerberus can't block well, but when it attacks, it would be able to go ahead and trade off with anything that's on Caerbanog's side of the field, and that's assuming no combat tricks.
Because of the delay, we can say that lullaby will be relevant. Will remove any attack gained by Cerberus's rage. It won't answer the board, but it'll delay it enough, perhaps enough to deal some extra damage with that Crocosaur and other things. Maybe get that Wrathwood out, but no attack. Rusty's not ready yet.
Rusty not happy to trade off his Cerberus there. Here, Caerbannog we see with the shard, but not with the 5-drop.
Rusty's a little bit away from playing a Gigantosaur. But Tempestuous Blade Dancer. Adding to that board. Uh-oh. Dice roll incoming.
in before dead.
And an extra card drawn. Not dead.
Yeah, not dead.
But there's some good stuff.
It's a good hit, but it's definitely not dead. Actually, kind of an interesting choice there. So you
Periwinkle with triple Wrathwood or Eternal Sage.
Like Periwinkle is definitely better if it survives, but the Eternal Sage has done some good work today as well.
And don't forget that Crocosaur that was drawn from the Sylvan Performer. That might actually be nice for Periwinkle because there's 4 things on your opponent's board. Copied Crocosaur, battle all the things.
Yeah.
Eternal Sage, though, 1 ruby will wipe out half that board as well. And it's a little more damage to the face.
Yep, and a better blocker for this turn as well too. Can't really argue with either one of those choices. Just kind of interesting. Could have gone either way on that. Excuse me. Playing the Sage probably a little better if you're worried about shenanigans from a maybe Soul of Battled Cerberus or something where you need to have extra defense out right now. I'm not sure how many come like double Soul of Battle would be, let's see, 24 damage, I think. Let's see here, Rusty with just the pass. Oh boy, that's another good draw. Yeah, Caerbannog getting so much value off this Sylvan Performer here. Going to play a Crocosaur, draw a card, kill 2 troops. Considering his options, he is going to go ahead and take out the Lyricist and the Cerberus this time. Yeah, with that Cerberus gone, a little bit safer to go ahead and swing in here. He has so much gas left.
Crocosaur 5/6, 6 defense. That's not an easy number to overcome.
Yep, and that's going to spell the end of that game. We saw a lot of elf acceleration, but we didn't see any big top end guys.
You know what can overcome a Crocosaur? Gigantosaur.
Gigantosaur is bigger than Crocosaur. Maybe as the dinosaur theme deck, have all the Carnosaurs and the Crocosaurs and the Gigantosaur.
Put in some Smashodon for good measure.
Yeah, there you go.
And the Dynamite.
Dynamite! Is it an elf? Is it a Blade Master? Nope. Turns out it's just Dynamite.
Oh, so in between, while we are inside deck reserves, so continuing along the line of thought that we could raid Colin's house, one possible plan is I'll be in Boston for PAX East, and he's in Connecticut, so someone can pick me up from PAX East for a night. We can go hex raid at Colin's place. That's close enough, right?
We aren't supposed to announce this on stream. He's listening. All right, we see game 2 getting ready to start up here. That's kind of an interesting hand there.
You know what I've learned from this tournament?
What's
I
that?
want more Crocosaur.
Man.
Crocosaur!
Crocosaur is a good...
Crocosaur! Crocosaur.
Somebody replace that Crocosaur with a Bulbasaur, please.
That means I have a Crocosaur plushie. I mean, yeah.
I do like that Crocosaur.
Crocosaur, Vine Lash, Crocosaur.
So we have the
Anyway,
Soloist here from Rusty's side, but no turn 1 play for Caerbannog.
these Wild Ruby decks don't really have turn 1 plays. They have Soloist for some extra ramp. It's usually you see the turn 2 Late Lyricist, turn 3 Sky Dancer.
Yeah, the thing about the Soloist is that sometimes you'll get those great draws where you can play a 3-drop on turn 2. And those are really cool when those happen. Like playing a Periwinkle on turn 2 and then having 5 resources on your third turn is pretty insane. Although it looks like Rusty might be threshold screwed here. He's still just got Ruby.
But it's good enough for an Ashwood Blade Dancer. And against the nothing below 5 cost on Caerbanog's board.
Yeah, we saw the initial hand where it had a lot of 5-drops in there. But there's definitely going to be something getting played this next turn at least. And that's the craziness of this deck. Like, with one card, it can just be turned around next turn.
If it's the Wild next turn, this blowout is going to be crazy. It could still end up being a blowout. It's not. It's not a Crocosaur blowout.
Now that is interesting. That is an interesting draw.
He's assuming that his opponent can't do an explosive win. He's not Cressida. He doesn't have a Wild yet, and he's trying to attack with a 2-1 and a 3-1. At the very least, Periwinkle can block Ashwood Soloist if damage was even a question.
I mean, it is still possible.
Ooh, fiery indignation.
So Rusty with a more aggressive version of the Elf deck here. Going for removal.
Indignation, such an interesting word. So Caerbannog down to 8. However, that Wild is drawn. Doesn't even need the Cressida power. Here is that blowout. And not enough attack between them to take out the Crocosaur back.
Yeah, maybe if Rusty was playing something like a lunge, it could at least trade off, but that would still be 3 cards for 1. That's still a really good trade if that's what ends up happening.
Caerbannog is where he wants to be. Able to dump things from hands. There we go. Finally, some Wild Merry Minstrels. Rusty could still stabilize yet, so it's not completely over at all. 2 Wild now. But we see Caerbanog's hand. There is so much stuff there. It's just a question of which one do you use? Titania's Majesty it is. And it sees a Pupil of Creation.
Take 1 damage.
It's better than nothing. And that 1 damage. It's okay. Try again next turn.
Pupil is definitely like it's not the best draw, obviously, but it's still interesting with that hand there.
Yeah, every single card played is going to be +2/+2 on it. So it's just going to sit there. It was free. That it's 1 damage, and eventually be a threat, maybe.
Yep. For People of Creation, for people who maybe haven't seen it, gets +2/+2.
Never mind.
Never mind. It's about to die. Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom.
Only a little bit numb. It's the smaller one.
Dies to the Carnosaurus. But if it had survived, it would get a +2/+2 counter every time you play 5-drop. And then you can remove counters as a 1-shot for 8 resources to use the Eye of Creation ability to reveal cards from the top of your deck, where the number of cards is the number of counters on the pupil. But won't be happening this game.
Here it is. Nom 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 nom. Crocosaur has 2 targets once again.
Is Crocosaur happy? Is it a happy little dinosaur? Happy big dinosaur, I guess.
Well, it depends on how much it eats. Food coma,
Croc
food coma incoming.
is always hungry. We see one attack here from the first Crocosaur.
Rusty is at 25 health. That's a decent buffer. And the the Gigantosaur is in hand, but 2 resources are needed to get there. That is one of the 2 resources needed.
And it's the third wild. Now Rusty with the Blade Dancer here can't even attack in because Crocosaur is just too big.
But interesting to note, Caerbannog is actually only at 8 health. So there's still that possibility. More dice rolling. Titania's Majesty number 2 does hit.
Boom. Boom.
And a full swing will be game.
Yeah, the first Titania's Majesty, not good enough, only got a pupil, but the second one, it hit the Calamity, and that's just going to be it.
Crocosaur is taking out that early board, paving the way for just the hand dump, and Rusty not able to stabilize fast enough.
Yeah, even if Rusty was playing Lullaby, he doesn't have enough resources here. There's just nothing that can stop this with one, so...
Now, if you're looking at these games and going, Titania's Calamity, so good, how can we ever beat it? There are cards out there. This is your time to shine. Find something, bring it to the next tournament, and see what you can do. This attack should be fatal.
Should be fatal. Caerbannog just being a little careful in case there's a card he forgot about.
And the card that needs to be solved is Crocosaur, not Titania. That is certainly true. Crocosaurs are paving the way for playing more cards that win the game.